What is going on, guys? We are back. Talking Decay is back with Walking Dead the new season starting this coming Sunday, so we thought we'd get a jump start. We had
sneak preview.
Yeah, we had our Talking Decay podcast that we started last season.
It was like halfway through the season that we started it.
Yeah, that's right. We did. Yeah, we did start it halfway through. So
that was kind of why we didn't really number it.
Yeah, exactly. So this will be the first full season that we'll have a podcast for Walking Dead. I'm Soldier Only, once again, and joined by
Fuchsia Only.
By the old lady Fuchsia as well.
I'm eating a cookie. It's that time of day.
Well, it's that time of year. It's the weather's cooled down. We're in that month of October, and then zombies. And I can't wait. I mean, with all this hype from all the video game stuff going on.
I'm excited.
I am too. Yeah, with all the video game stuff going on, like, just busy with work and all that, and just all this stuff going on. It's like I haven't had time to really settle into the hype for Walking Dead returning.
Although you know what that means, we completely failed at our Netflix night that was going to make up our Sunday night time. Because we're like, if we can stay dedicated to watching one show same time every week.
Yeah.
And when it's not airing, we can replace that time with Netflix, and we never successfully did.
No, yeah, because we succeeded with Doctor Who. I would always, I would stop the stream. We would watch Doctor Who every night.
But
and it's going to be around that same time, right? Is Doctor Who Sundays or no Saturdays, right?
Doctor Who Saturdays.
Okay, so then Walking Dead is Sundays, but Walking Dead is usually a lot later.
True.
So.
Which is why we do the podcast on Mondays.
On Monday, yeah, exactly. So which is why we do the podcast the following day on Mondays.
And if you haven't seen any of Walking Dead's last season, spoilers.
Yeah, huge spoilers, obviously. So that's what we're going to get into on tonight's episode is we're going to kind of just go over what happened last season and then kind of maybe just a little bit look ahead into the coming season to kind of think what's happening on. So you've had your spoiler warning. If you haven't seen last season,
not our fault.
Not our fault.
Not our fault at this point.
Last season started with a bang.
Yes.
Or should I say 2 bangs?
It was bad.
It was really bad.
And the first half of this season, I was just so depressed. I was like, how did this become?
It was dark.
It was.
It was a totally different world, like after.
It was so bad. You'd never seen Rick and them all so low and actually put up with everything that it was like, this isn't The Walking Dead.
No.
This is just sorrow, and this is horrible, and this is, oh my God, when are they gonna fight back and do what they've always done?
And that didn't really start until the season B, until the second half of the season premiered. Because remember, the first half of the season ended with Rick. They symbolized him getting his fight back by Daryl handing him his revolver again. Remember, and he had that look like. That was like how they symbolized it, but like Rick in our group,
all already dead.
Like Rick, I know that was the ending though.
Yeah,
that was the ending of the season. I was talking about the ending of the mid-season.
I know,
but we've seen Rick and our survivors getting torn down before. But the governor, did some stuff to him and all that. But it's like what Negan was able to do, just in that one altercation at that night, like.
It was a very, very strong relationship with Negan.
They hyped up that season premiere so bad too, because they ended season 6 on one of the biggest cliffhangers ever. And that was their whole promotion during the off season, and then during the advertising leading up to season 7. And
it was so sad to see those characters go. It was just
it really was,
and everything. It was just, oh my God.
And they played it brilliantly too, because. Obviously, the show is based off the comics, and the show is quite a ways behind from the comics.
That's true.
So, of course, a lot of people they're just going to do who they killed in the comics in that section. So then when it happened, and at the first one wasn't him, and so you're like, oh shit.
And then
but then a few minutes later, it's like, nope, yeah.
But I swear that could have been them trying to kill down some of the hype for that one person, because had he not done something, the second one would have been fine. I'm like, I know I said no spoilers, but I'm still trying to like.
I know what you mean, yeah, because and they kind of address that too, because Daryl felt responsible.
And He kind of should at that point, and I feel like that was
kind of should,
AMC trying. Well, not AMC, but I think that was kind of like the directors being like, "All right, he has too much hype. If we kill him off right now, we're gonna lose more than half of our fans, or things like that. They're just not gonna watch the show anymore." So it was like, okay, they're not gonna kill him off, or at least that we know of, but let's let him be a little less liked because of that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I can kind of see it being that way, but also Kirkman can give an F less, because when that whole "if Daryl dies we riot" movement kind of started, I saw Kirkman on a talk show or something, maybe like it was a video. It wasn't just an interview like or a podcast I heard. It was a video. He was on like a talk show or something, I think, and he was talking about that. Like when that first came out, he's like, "Oh, you guys like him that much?" Like he said that it gives him more incentive to probably, okay, well, I will kill him off and let's see if you do what you say you're gonna do. Right. Like he's that type. Like he'll do it out of nowhere. Like it's interesting though, because the video we watched last night, remember, I kind of want to get into that a little bit too, but that old man Carl theory, and Kirkman was saying how much he loves the character of Carl. Just writing it, like, and in that quote that they talked about made an excellent point, because he would be an awesome character to write for, because when the apocalypse started, he's this like 9-10-year-old kid. He hasn't even fully realized the real world yet, and then the whole world changes, like even for adults and all that, like it just flips it on its head. And
he's growing up in an apocalypse rather than what a normal 10-year-old boy would have.
He has a unique perspective, than like what adults would have.
He's one of the first generations growing up in an apocalyptic world.
And even going further,
the others were already grown.
And even going further, look at Judith. She was born in it, so it's like... And it's an interesting thing. I kind of want to touch on that. We watched this awesome video last night, and it's just some theories going around, both about the comics and the show. Yeah. But there's this, what they're calling an old man Carl theory.
Where it could be Carl... Near the end, when they kill it off, it could be Carl describing what he remembers of his past, of the beginning of the apocalypse.
I think that would be so awesome.
An old version of Carl. And this is all like a, what do you call it?
Flashback. It's like a flashback telling of it.
And they're saying how with him, it kind of makes sense because they address his dad, Rick, as the main character. And usually any child is going to make their parent figure,
especially a boy with his father. Yeah,
a boy with his father, make him out to be a hero. That maybe, and the way that they were talking about it, it was actually really interesting. And I was like,
It makes that theory holds a lot of water. Like it really does. And wouldn't that be so awesome? Like they said in that too, like. When the whole series is wrapping up, it like pans out and it's an old Carl, like really old Carl, like 60s, late 60s, like Carl.
With the sword and the crossbow and everything and the hat.
I want to know where that art came from. They were showing that awesome, it's probably just fan made like you said, but it was this awesome image of a really old Carl with really long hair, and like he still had the cowboy hat. He didn't have his eye patch on, so it was just a hole for his eye. But he had the poncho, the sword, his dad's revolver. Like, so he had all these elements from the characters.
And from it was a very interesting concept. I enjoyed it, but then
wouldn't that be awesome? So yeah, it pans out. It's old man Carl like telling his kids the story or something,
But then there's also been that other one where it's like, oh, what if it's Rick that wakes up from his coma and none of it really happened?
Okay, so I wanted to get into this. I mean, I kind of wanted to go over the whole of last season a little more before we got into this, but it's fine.
It's kind of hard when we're short on time.
Yeah, we are short on time on this one, but on this week. But the trailers. So we've only really seen one trailer, right, for this upcoming season, right? And it ends with just this shot of Rick laying down. He's clearly laying down, and it's like above him.
And he has gray hair.
And he looks a lot older.
And it's like, okay, wait, where are they going with this?
But they're telling something with the light, too. The lighting isn't natural, and that's what they're trying to do. They've used that kind of film techniques before to where this isn't the real, and it's bright. It's all just really bright, and the only thing you can see on him, like, it's just all white. The bedsheet behind him's white. You could tell what he's wearing is white, and it's just really crystal and clear and just not natural. And he's got this really big like white beard too, and it's almost like what the hell? Like, what do you think that's gonna be? Like, I almost think they're kind of trolling us.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if they are trolling us because, I mean, with everything that's gone on in Walking Dead so far, they've been really good at the element of surprise, even when things get leaked.
See, and me and you also we haven't read the comics really past this point. Like, you haven't really read most of the comics, period, but I've pretty much read kind of up until the introduction of Negan. I haven't really read any of the comics once Negan comes in.
It's a really strong love-hate relationship when it comes to Negan because I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan as an actor more than he's incredible.
I told you months and months before he even showed up on screen that we heard it was Jeffrey Dean Morgan that was going to be playing him, and I was just like, oh my god, that is perfect.
Yeah, because it's like, it's just he's so good at being.
No, he's a phenomenal actor. But
it's a very strong love-hate relationship.
So I don't know.
I like the whole character of Negan and how it got brought out is very interesting.
I mean, because it makes you wonder, like, how long, like they really do plan on.
Right, and well, near the end of last season, you see Carol finally switch back into what she needs to be because she finds out the truth about everything.
And Morgan.
Yeah.
And Morgan was fighting at the end.
Morgan was fighting at the end, but remember where Morgan and Carol kind of switched places, where she's like, you can go and you not go at the same time.
That was an interesting dynamic.
I really liked how they did that because at the time, that's exactly what Carol needed. She needed to be on her own, away from people, but not necessarily strictly on her own.
Whoa.
And that's what King Ezekiel provided her with, was that house outside of his kingdom. Mm-hmm. And I think that's exactly what she needed at that time, that she saw when Morgan needed it and was like, okay, I have to go fight this battle that I didn't know was going on. Yeah,
because remember, Daryl kind of lied to her at first, saying that everyone's
she knew
fine.
He was lying.
Yeah, she could tell. She knew. I think we're going to see more definitely between Carol and King Ezekiel. I think we're going to see that advance more, I'm sure. So something's going to be coming of that. See, it's interesting because from what I remember in the comics, Carol is actually a lot younger in the comics. She's not like
Well, what I really love about Carol and King Ezekiel's bond is that when she first met him, she's like, I have no idea what's going on in the best way. But she's just like playing along with it till she should go.
And he read it. He knew she was full of crap.
Yeah. See, but then,
and she knew he was.
Yeah, but then they had that sit down conversation where he's like, I became what they needed me to be, what they were looking for. This is what I actually did before the apocalypse. This is how I was. I'm only this for those people, and as you can see, it works. And then that's when she's like, okay, you have my respect because now I know you're not just some whack job with a lion.
Exactly, yeah, because that's obviously what a lot of outsiders are going to think. But
well, I know that's exactly what I thought when I first saw the lion in the kingdom. I'm like, what?
And he talks like that too, and call it,
and the way that it was just a little,
especially in that world, in that world, it's like it's you first read him that he's like he's in this nice place with walls, just hidden and just kind of sheltered from it, playing like some kid playing playing fantasy, King of the Castle, King
of the Castle, or
but in reality, what he's doing and his motives are a lot more sincere and a lot more than that. But
and that's what I like.
I like him. I like King Ezekiel a lot, actually.
I like him a lot too, and that's what I liked is that when him and Carol had that interaction, he was like, all bullshit aside, this is what it is. This is how it became that. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they just had a mutual respect for each other ever since. Mm-hmm. And it was King Ezekiel that was like, you can go and you cannot go at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Well, so, and also what we saw last season too, we saw a couple other communities brought in too, other than we finally got to see the Saviors. But exactly, we have the Riverside community, and then we have the trash people that a lot of people are calling the heapsters, I guess is what they were calling it on Talking Dead. But
they're disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
not because they're heapsters, but because of their intentions.
It was just funny because you didn't trust them right from the start, and obviously I didn't either. But
you didn't trust him near as much as I didn't trust him.
Exactly, yeah. My trust went a little bit further. I mean, I still didn't have it, but I had a little.
I had a higher hope.
Yeah, I had higher hope for him because every damn group we've ever came across have always been bad, So other than the Kingdom, obviously, but.
And Alexandria wasn't too bad.
And Hilltop, I forgot there's Hilltop too, but Hilltop's kind of questionable with.
Well, they took all their guns.
No, that's Riverside.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that is Riverside.
Hilltop is like where Jesus. Is it Gregory?
Mm-hmm.
What's that guy? The guy that needs to go. Well, he's already been kind of demoted. Like Maggie is like in the charge of Hilltop. His
name is Gregory.
I think it's Gregory or whatever, but.
I think it is. Where he's like, I've never killed one before, and Maggie's like, bloop.
I can't believe with all the crap that she's had to put up with him when that happened, she was still like, it's like, remember that some of the community people were like laughing at him, and she's like, oh, he's never killed one before. Don't.
It's like, how is he put into such a high power if he's never killed anyone before?
I think we're gonna see more on that too, because it's something that's never been spoken, and then. There's always been this unspoken thing between him and Jesus too. Like they make this thing seem out like Jesus should be the one,
but he doesn't want to
be. And it makes me think that like maybe Jesus's parents or something were kind of maybe the head at one point.
I don't know.
It's almost like he's kind of like the prince, that has to take over that throne, but doesn't.
Maybe
for whatever reason, Gregory, if that is his name, we'll call him Gregory, but.
I think it could be Gregory, but I don't know.
It's been that's the thing. It's been a while. I mean,
and there's so much that we're going just completely skipping over because it's been so long and it's a new season, so we do apologize.
Yeah, I wish we had a lot more time to cover a lot of it.
We had a lot more time too, because I mean, there's just so much that has happened, and this is just kind of like a sneak peek of what's to happen.
Mm-hmm.
When the season comes back, but it.
Yeah, because this podcast usually will. I mean, we might start doing these a little bit later, like around 7:30.
Yeah.
This week it's just a little bit earlier, a little bit quicker, and just kind of a special. Because we actually realized last minute that we should actually do it this week to kind of do a preview before the season premiered instead of just doing it after. But
so you guys all have a heads up that we're big Walking Dead fans and we like talking.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that have joined the channel because actually, for instance, we didn't stream our Talking Decays last season. It was we were just recording. They were just audio versions that we would post on YouTube. So. During the off season was when we started streaming, period, and then we started eventually streaming our other podcast. And
maybe it'll be our last thing Monday instead of streaming. Like you get home, you stream, and then when it gets into the last hour of you streaming, I'll come in, we'll do the podcast, and we'll go to bed. That
would be the better way. So yeah, maybe we'll actually. I'll have to switch the advertisements on it, but maybe we'll do it more at 9:30, 10ish, something like that.
Whatever's clever.
10, 10's a nice round number.
Yeah, whatever's clever.
But yeah, so yeah, we pretty much covered everything. I just wanted to mention last season a little bit and kind of look ahead into the other. Mainly that trailer. That trailer really has me thinking, with that ending. I kind of have a feeling that it might be something I think they will show it in the show, but I think it's just going to be one of those things
it's a flashback. It could be.
It's gonna be a mind twist. It's gonna be.
Oh, by far.
I don't think it's gonna be the set thing. Like let's say the show's ending and it pans out and it's he just woke up from the coma. All that never really happened. That would be a big troll. Yeah, that would be a big troll, and I could see them doing that. I could see them doing that, but I don't think that's what this is.
But what throws me off is how much hype Walking Dead has now. Why would they end it in its prime?
No, they're not going to. This show's going to be around for a long time.
They're going to be trolls, and they're going to make us think it's going to end, but I don't think it's going to end yet.
No.
I'm just super stoked to see what is going on with Rick and that massive gray beard.
It definitely shows a lot of time has passed.
Yeah.
He looks a lot different in it.
Well, in all other previews I've seen, it looks like a lot of time has passed, so it's going to be really interesting to see where they pick up. Especially with that battle that was in the end.
I think it's going to be picked up kind of right there. I don't think we're going to see a big time jump. Maybe it will start like the opener will be a big time jump and then maybe go back because we kind of see these time hops sometimes on some episodes, but just the way last season ended with that battle and then everyone scurrying, I think it would have to pick up right there. Like,
yeah, that's a good point. I can see picking up where it left off.
I mean, that's not to say there is ways that they could be like a month later, you know, or something, but I don't think so. I mean, we don't really see those time hops that often in this show because we're going into season 8 and we're only about like 2.5, 3 years into the apocalypse, I think. The only time we really saw a big time jump was between seasons 2 to 3 when there was like that 9 months where they were living in the woods for the winter.
And that's when we met Michonne because the end was Michonne with the 2 zombies, and it was like, who is she?
No, when I saw her, I knew who she was because I had read the comics back then. At that point, I knew who it was. That's why that silhouette of her, like with the sword, and then her like cowl, and then with the 2 walkers. That's why people who had read the comics was like, oh, there she is, because we had been wanting her for seasons because she has always been a fan favorite from the comics. And they've done a good job with her in the show, too. So. But
I'm going to go watch Big Bang. And then we will have more Talking Decay next Monday. And we'll be talking about the season premiere.
All right. And I'm going to stop the recording and do all that stuff. And then take a break. And then I'll start my stream. But, so yeah. Talking Decay is back. So, like we said, Mondays. But now we're kind of spitballing it. We might actually start doing it a little bit later. Probably about 10 p.m. Mountain Time.
Because of Big Bang.
And then, of course, we will post it on YouTube later, but you can catch them live on Mondays at twitch.tv/soldieronly. You can follow her on Instagram at Fuchsia Only. Follow me on Twitter at SportsNerd48. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button if you like the video. Join us in the future for future episodes. Sub to the channel for more content. We'll see you next week.
Deuces.